For today's video, I'm actually going to be going over some of my stuff that I've written. I know that it can be weird or it can come off like arrogant for somebody to make videos about screenwriting and the film business if they don't have any like super major credits like me. But I do have credits. I've written short films that have gone to festivals. I think the biggest one is Atlanta Film Festival that a short film I wrote went into and did really well in. I don't think we submitted. I think we won a festival, and then the Atlanta Film Festival directors wanted to showcase our short film at theirs, and they had a spot open for us, so they invited us in, which is just as good to me as winning an award. I think that's even better. But I've had multiple projects across the board, go into a lot of festivals. I've had meetings with agents and managers before, almost got signed to an agency. Didn't work out. I basically got ghosted because that's what happens. And I know I've mentioned I had a script at Paramount about 10 years ago at this point. So I have experience, but also some of you, if not all of you, have never seen any of my work or seen any of my writing. So I am going to go over 5 scripts that I have written. And I hope you don't mind. I'm going to be a little bit more like relaxed in these videos because I end up doing like multiple takes and it gets really annoying. So I'm not going to really do a redo if I like need to take a sip of coffee or whatever. But anyways, besides that, I'm going to read 5 scripts. 3 of them are things that have been produced. 2 short films that I did not direct. They were directed by Jacob Allison. He works in marketing and ad agencies, does a lot of photo and commercial work. And then 1 is a feature film that I self-funded and I directed. And then 2 scripts are ones that I am currently working on or have just finished. And so you're going to see like the difference between 8-9 years ago versus now. If there's any difference, who knows? Maybe I got better, maybe I got worse, maybe I stayed the same. I don't know. I don't really know because when you're a writer, you have blinders on and you think you're getting better and sometimes you're not. And then also, if you notice the time, length of this video, it's not very long because I'm not going to read the entire script. I don't want to put you through that much torture. So I'm going to read about 1, maybe 2 pages. And of the 3 things that got made into something, I'm going to show a clip of what I just read. And then the 2 scripts that I have just worked on now, you're just going to read the script. And I'm going to probably put maybe like a little picture or a poster so that you can, I don't know, have something to look at while I read it. But what else was I going to say? The 3 things that were produced, 2 of them went into a bunch of film festivals and won several awards. One of them, I think, won Best Narrative, which I count as an award for myself because I wrote the narrative. Both of those, little to no input. It was all me, baby. I wrote the entire thing. And then the feature film, there was some input from some actors and producer, Mike, who is my cinematographer, and a buddy of mine, Bill, who kind of inspired the story. He had some ideas that were taking place somewhere else, but I kind of took those ideas and we were supposed to co-write it together, but he got busy with work, so I ended up just writing it myself. But he played a part in that influence as well. And then these 2 scripts, obviously, just purely mine. So I'm not gonna ramble anymore. I'm just gonna get right into it. The first script I'm gonna read is Eden, and this was something I wrote maybe in 2013, 2014. It's a short film, and the general premise is a man is in a hotel room with a prostitute, or as some people call it, sex workers. It's a prostitute. And he's basically using her as a therapist after he just, did the deed with her. And he's just kind of projecting his guilt and shame on her for cheating on his wife. And, they have a little playful back and forth. And ultimately, at the end of the day, he he makes a decision that you would assume he would make. Also, I am going to link these 3 projects into the bio so you can watch them. Fade in. Interior motel room night. A man sits at the edge of the bed wearing only unbuttoned dress pants with his head drooped down. He has a body of a brute, thick as wood and heavy as stone. His name is Rick. The only light in the room is coming from the sink area just a few feet away from Rick's position, and typically shifting hues from the muted television off the side. The toilet flushes and a woman exits the bathroom. She is slim, wearing a short skirt and bra, with tacky tattoos scattered on her body, primarily on her arm and abdomen area. Her name is Stella. Rick gets up and goes to the bathroom. He doesn't close the door. As he pisses, Stella plops herself on the bed, stomach side down, and watches the television. She keeps it muted. On the television, there's an old black and white noir film. It shows a detective grabbing a woman aggressively and snapping at her. Stella grabs a cigarette from the counter near the bed and lights it. Stella, why don't they ever put these old films in color? Rick finishes pissing and flushes the toilet. That's not the point. He exits the bathroom. Stella, not the point of what? They did it for Casablanca. Rick, yeah, and it was shit. Rick sits back down in his spot. He looks over at the television for a brief moment, then looks over at the counter. A wedding ring rests atop it. He leans over and grabs it. Stella looks at him. Stella, you're going to lose that thing one of these days. You need to just keep it on. Rick, it bothers me. What, like it's too tight? No. Oh, what difference does it make having it on or off? You're still screwing around. If it's off, at least I don't have it staring back at me. Can't you still feel it? Like it's still on your finger? Like a phantom limb? Yeah, kind of like that. Rick doesn't answer. Stella just gives him a cheeky flick of her eyebrows and goes back to watching the movie. Rick puts his ring on and gets up. He grabs his shirt and starts to put on the rest of his clothes piece by piece. Stella, I'm not judging you or anything. So that was 2 pages, okay? And here's a clip of that part.
You're gonna lose that thing one of these days. You should probably keep it on.
Bothers me.
What, like it's too tight?
No.
What difference does it make whether you've got it on or off? You're still screwing around.
Yeah, well, at least if it's off, I don't have it staring back at me all the time.
Can't you still feel it though? Like it's still on your finger?
What, like a phantom limb?
Yeah, kind of like that. Look, I'm not judging you or anything, obviously. I'm just real analytical about shit like that.
Yeah. You being analytical when you got all those tattoos?
You trying to get under my skin? 'Cause you've degraded me worse than that.
The second script I'm going to read that I did was in 2015. It was about 2 years after Eden. And it is called Americana. It's a heist film that takes place in rural Georgia. And it's basically, it's a long short film. It's 30 minutes long. So the script is, the script is about, 29 pages. But this film particularly deals more with sort of the aspect of like the bottom totem pole of America and the rural South and the idea of like the American dream. That was sort of the concept, the theme, whatever you want to call it. But it is at the heart a heist film. And so I'm going to read 2 pages from that and then show the clip. Knock, knock, knock. Junior puts the bottle down and muscles himself up. He cracks open the door, and the other side is a fiend. Fiend, hey, I got that dollar. Let me see it. The fiend digs in his pocket and presents a wad of 20s and 10s. Count it. The fiend starts to sift through the bills and counts. 20, 30, 35, 55, 65, 70. Junior, you're short 30. Then give me some rock. I'll take that if you got it. Junior thinks about it. Give me that. He takes the cash and closes the door on the fiend. He goes into the bedroom where Senior is passed out. He grabs a small baggie and puts a pinch of cheap-ass Coke in it from a small Tupperware. Then he gets some pills from a drawer and crushes them and mixes them with the botched up Coke. He comes back to the fiend and serves him. The fiend doesn't waste time. He snaps the bag open and starts snorting up with his pinky nail and walks away. Junior sits back in his spot. Leanne sitting on the couch slurping up some ramen. She changed the TV to something else. Junior, why'd you change it? Where's the remote? I don't know why you watch that shit. Junior starts sifting through the couch to figure out where Leanne hid the remote. He finds it and switches it back to Beverly Hillbillies. He takes his seat again and spits dip in a beer bottle. Junior, you ain't gotta watch shit. Let me have my piece. Leanne, that's some sort of fantasy of yours. Make some ends and move out with all them rich folk. So what if it is? Not like your bumpkin ass been outside the fucking state. You still think Cracker Barrel is fine dining. Leanne, and what you know about anything? I know me something. I've been to Vermont. Vermont? Junior, it's a state. Leanne, I know what Vermont is. Why the hell are you all the way out there? Junior, back when I dropped out, got a few racks to deliver a key up there. One of my own plugs couldn't make it on account of being holed up. Places like that, all that white picket fence America they talk about. Leanne, they? Who's they? Junior just spits his dip in the bottle and watches his show. One day I'm gonna be out there for good. Leanne, sure thing, bub. He gives her a quick glare. She slurps on the ramen. So one of the things about this particular script, before I show the clip, is dialect. I'm from the South. I'm from, at the time, a rural part of Texas and South Texas on the border of Mexico, right on the Gulf area and the tip. And dialect is like massively important. That's a really hard thing to write in a screenplay sometimes because it sounds ignorant. People who are like a little bit judgmental or aren't as like socially experienced in terms of like they don't really go out of their bubble and meet people and understand people. So some of the dialogue can sound like it like sounds like, oh, this isn't good dialogue, but when you hear it and it's acted and it's performed correctly, it's like, oh yeah, like this is how people in that in that world, that rural, poor, impoverished world, and especially in the South, that's how they talk. Like where I grew up, it's, I'm Mexican American. It's mostly Mexican Americans where I grew up. And the Spanglish there is very, very distinct. It's very identical to other Spanglish in other areas, but it's also its own thing. And if I were to like try to write that into a script, it would just sound like a mess. But then if somebody were to perform it, it'd be like, oh, that makes total sense. It sounds like that. So that's something I want people to consider, not just even for this, but even when you're writing stuff, that when you write stuff that is very particular to a region and the way they talk, don't be so concerned how much it reads off the page. It's more about how it's performed. So I'm going to show this clip from Americana and you can check it out.
Who is it?
Terry's fucking tweaked out ass.
Hey, man. Hey.
What you want?
Whatever you got, I ain't picky. You know me.
Depends on what you got.
9.
9 what?
Dollars.
$9?
Yeah, go.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
Come on, man. Come on. It's gotta be good for a hit or something. Come on, man.
Man, I don't even know if I want to touch that shit.
Come on, man. My mama just died.
Your mama didn't die. I saw her a few weeks ago.
Come on, man, I just need something. My mama is dead.
What'd she die of then?
Cancer.
Man, get the fuck out of here, Terry.
Come
Go on.
You know he's just gonna keep wailing all night until you give him something. You know that, right?
It's the 4th time his mama died this year. I ain't giving him shit.
Okay. Suit yourself.
We got a fine big house here with plenty of room. We'd be pleased to have you stay with us. Sure do, thank you, but I've got a place to stay.
Now, don't be proud, Pat. Sleeping in freight yards can be dangerous.
I promise you, I'm not sleeping in freight yards. Well, then, how about dropping around about sundown and having some colors and fatback with me? Now, that I would purely love.
You like cornbread?
Pride status given him by his stay in the class to which he was born. His vertical mobility
Hey,
greatly upon him. His
Who said you could change my show?
it's a shit show.
It's my show.
Yeah, that's what I fucking said.
Right in the neighbors. See them start with the dancing.
I don't hardly think they need an invite. Their house is downwind. Besides, Mr. Drysdale likely at the bank by now.
Chief, are you serious? You're letting Mrs. Drysdale sell the house?
A prospective buyer's coming this morning to look it over.
You live right next door to the Clampett. I can't picture you.
One of these days, I'm gonna get me a life like that.
Right back home.
I hope you're going to have plenty of cornbread to crumble in the pot liquor.
Oh, you betcha. That reminds me, I better go stir it up.
Yeah, babe? You out there with all those rich folk walking?
Man,
Huh?
I'm gonna go on up to Maine and get a nice little white picket fence place up there.
3 hours. Wait
Maine.
for me to go into the house so he can
Maine, you know, the state.
I know what the fuck it is.
close.
I'm not stupid.
10 toes.
Why the fuck you wanna go up there anyways?
Snatcher.
I've been there once.
Yeah?
Bet you don't
When?
know this evening and you
Back before I met your bumpkin ass. Took a pack up there for a connect. You ever see them postcards over at the corner store? Ones that make America look all pretty and shit? Like it's the greatest damn place in the world? That's what it was like up there. I'm gonna get up there. Just wait. You'll see.
Them $9 are gonna help you get there, right, babe?
I want to know about the important virtue. He got money. Where does he bank?
Have you ever entertained the thought that there just might be something in this world more important than money?
All right, so this third one is from the feature film that I did. I directed this one. I self-funded it. You know, it was a few $1,000s. I shot it in this house. And I'm going to read a couple pages, but what I'm actually going to do for the clip is I'm going to play the couple pages that I read, and then I'm going to let the clip run for about another 5 minutes because it goes into another scene that I think is cool. Like, I just think it would be a cool scene for y'all to watch. So it'll be like a 5-minute clip. So, all right, here it is. Interior attic later. Toby takes a seat and sips his tea as Derek is asleep in his chair. Toby, yo. Derek wakes up in a mini panic. Oh. Whoa, dude, what the fuck was that? Derek, fuck, dude, I'm sorry. I just freak out sometimes. I don't know where I'm at. Toby, you look like I thought I was going to kill you. Derek, it's just when I was little, my mom used to wake me up like crazy. Get up and get ready for school. You're going to be late. It was 5:30 and school didn't even start till 8. Jesus Christ, fucking chill out. What do you got there? Toby, green tea. Derek, why does it look weird like that? I put milk in it. Really? Yeah. Can I have a sip? Sure. Toby hands him a cup of tea. That's pretty good. Yeah, it helps me relax. Derek hands him back the cup. The phone rings. Derek, do you want me to get this one or me? Toby, whatever, I'll take it if you want. Now, you know what? Take a breather and drink your tea. I got this. Cool. Derek answers the phone and grabs his book. Derek, hello, my name is Derek. A woman on the other end speaks in a soft and calm voice. We never see her through the entire exchange. The woman, hi, Derek. Derek looks through the book. He can't find the number. How is everything? The woman, fine for the most part. You have a very nice voice. I hope you don't mind me saying that. No, I don't. Thank you. Derek can feel the loneliness in the woman's voice. How can I help you tonight? I just need somebody to talk to. Well, you called the right person. I'm a hell of a guy. And that's where the scene, that's the 2 pages. And I also forgot to mention this feature film is called Suicide Watch. I labeled it something different on the YouTube because it kept getting pinged for the word suicide. And so I did this movie in 2015. So it's almost 10 years ago. On the surface, the movie is a couple guys work the graveyard shift at a suicide hotline at a suicide center, and it's operated out of an attic at a halfway house. But this movie was loosely inspired, or my version of Clerks, by I can't remember his name. Kevin Smith, sorry. And in the movie Clerks, there's some things where Clerks is basically an allegory for being in purgatory or awaiting judgment, which is kind of why it has this weird sort of feeling and atmosphere to it at times. And so I kind of wanted to do something like that. Clerks is, I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. And with this one, again, on the surface, it's 2 guys that work the graveyard shift at a suicide hotline center, and it's operated out of a halfway house in the attic. But beneath the surface, it is a film where these characters are essentially in a purgatory, literally, and so that's why it's kind of like this weird setup. But you can get that from watching the movie. You can also maybe not catch that. So and this particular scene, a woman calls in because she wants to off herself, and they have a conversation. So just, it's like a 6-minute clip for this one. So watch it.
Yo, shit. What the hell was that?
Sorry, man. I just kind of wake up crazy sometimes.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna kill me.
Oh, no, man. It's just my fucking mom used to come in all crazy and shit when I was a little kid, wake me up you gotta wake up for school. You're gonna be late. You're gonna miss the bus. I'm like, fuck, Mom. It's 5:30. The bus school doesn't start till 8. Christ, lady, take it easy. Fuck. You think it's funny?
Yeah.
This is it's like a nightmare and shit. You're laughing at me. What do you got there?
Green tea.
Does look all weird and shit.
Because I put milk in it.
That's it?
Sure.
That's good.
Yeah, I know, right? Helps me relax. I'm not gonna get AIDS now from you, am I?
I'm not gonna get AIDS from you now. That's the best you got?
Seriously, am I gonna get something from this?
I'm not. Say you're just gonna have to risk your life. Why don't you give me the tea?
Fuck it.
You wanna get that or should I?
I'll get it.
No, you know what? Drink your weird ass tea and I got it. Relax. Hello, my name is Derek.
Hi, Derek.
How is everything?
Fine, for the most part.
You have a very nice voice. I hope you don't mind me saying that.
No, I don't. Thank you.
So what can I do for you?
I just need someone to talk to.
Well, you called the right place, because I'm a heck of a guy.
You sound like it.
Thank you, miss.
You sound a lot like my brother.
What's his name?
Riley.
That's a nice name. Is he older or younger?
Younger. I actually changed his diapers when he was a baby.
You sound like a great sister. So what's Riley up to these days? Hello? Hello, miss?
Did you know that Los Angeles is one of the most densest places in the country?
No, I didn't know that.
There's about 7,000 people squeezed into every square mile.
It's a lot of people.
So why do I always feel so alone?
Listen, here's what you gotta know. Everyone feels that way sometimes. Even me.
I've been feeling like that a lot lately.
Okay, maybe that's just a sign. A sign to take a little time for yourself.
Well, what do you do when you're feeling like that?
What do? I drive.
Drive?
You never done that?
Just drive?
Yeah. Just get out on the road and drive.
To where?
Doesn't matter. You can go anywhere. You can go nowhere. Just let yourself wander. Go to places you've been before. Go to places you haven't been before.
Sounds kind of nice, actually.
It is. I used to do it all the time with my sister.
What's her name?
Emma.
Oh, that's a real pretty name.
Thank you. She had these deep, beautiful blue eyes that were just... I don't know. When things got hard, I would just grab the keys, take her hand, and go.
Well, where should I go?
What do you mean?
I want to go somewhere. With my brother. Where should we go?
Well, that's the fun part. Not knowing. The fun part is not knowing where you'll end up. The point is to just get in your car and be free.
I don't like that, though. Not knowing where we're going to end up.
I know it's scary to not know. But as long as you've got each other, you're going to be okay. There's nothing to be afraid of.
I hope you're right.
Listen, it is a big world out there. And believe it or not, there's a lot to live for. You can trust me on that. I promise. Might not feel that way now, but it's true. Everything's going to be okay.
It was really nice talking to you, Derek. Thank you.
All right. Script number 4. So now we are reading scripts that I just started working on or have finished or whatever. They're the most recent. They've been worked on in the last literally 2 months. This one is called A Crime Story, and the plot revolves around a woman hiring a guy to help her find and enact revenge on the person responsible for murdering her sister. And at this particular part in the script, the hired hitman has retrieved information from a dirty cop, and as proof to kind of like show the main character, the woman, that he's doing his job, he severed the finger of the dirty cop and gave it to her kind of as like a gift. And right now they're in a hotel, or a motel, I should say. They're like in a seedy motel, and they're just having a conversation because they're getting ready now to make the final move and go after the person that was truly responsible for her sister's murder. And to kind of add to the setup is the woman, her name is Danica. She wants to be involved in the revenge. Like, she doesn't just want to send him. Like, she wants to be there, and she wants to actually be the one to put the nail in the coffin on this person. And so, to kind of have some context, he got that information from the dirty cop. They know who's responsible. They're going to have like a night to prepare, a day to prepare, and then they're going to go after it. And it's a little bit more of a casual conversation, and there's little droplets of what's going to happen because this is pretty deep into the script. So, but that's the context. So you at least have some sort of idea of what's going on. So let me see where I should start from here. All right. So I'm just going to start here. It's kind of like in the middle of the conversation. And the two characters are Enzo, who's the hired hit, and Danica, who's the woman who hired him. All right. There's this book I'm reading. You remind me of the main character. This is Enzo talking. Sorry. There's this book I'm reading. You remind me of the main character in it. Danica, if that's a compliment, thanks. If not, it's neither. It just is. The two sit in silence. Despite the distance between them, they share a unique intimacy bound by blood and vengeance. It's palpable, yet they remain cold to one another. Enzo, I recommend you take the rest of the day to really think about how involved you want to be. Danica, mind if I stay here? Being home, it's tough if I'm being honest. Enzo, I don't mind. He relaxes. Enzo, can I ask you something? Danica, a bit caught off guard. Yeah, sure. I'm thinking about moving somewhere. Away from here. Any place you recommend? Danica, wouldn't that affect your work? Enzo, I have a nice little nest egg. I also want to start a family at some point. You think I'll make a good dad? Danica's eyes flicker as if she's going crazy. Deja vu on steroids. Danica, I think you would make a good dad. Nobody will fuck with your kids, that's for sure. He likes hearing that. Where? Danica, where what? Where should I move? She ponders for a moment. Minnesota? Enzo smiles, then gets up and gathers himself. As he's about to leave, Danica, the finger, take it. Enzo, it don't belong to me. He leaves. So that's that scene. It's a longer scene, obviously. There's like maybe 2 or 3 pages that build into that. And prior to that, obviously he arrives, he hands her the finger, and then he tells her, like, this is the person who did it, and they kind of go over some like logistics about it, and then it goes into that conversation. And the book that he's reading is the book that I'm reading, No Longer Human. So a little more context there. So that's a crime story, and that's about 70 pages into the script. And I know it's like hard to really grasp, like, you know, just me reading off of it, but hey, you know, you want to know more about me. So now the last script that I'm going to read is Switchblade, and this particular script is sort of like First Blood, The Edge, and like a very, very light Predator inspiration. So I'm not going to really give any context to what it's about. I'm just going to read the first 2 pages. All right. Exterior Utah wilderness day. We fly over the vastness of the land. It's daunting. The giant trees, colossal mountain range, and never-ending expansion of the wild is frightening. There's no rush as we soak it all in from a bird's eye view, calmly scoping out every leaf and grain of dirt until we come upon a small colony of cabins. We stop, then descend towards it until interior cabin F, same. Close on a pair of eyes filled with guttural rage as we can hear the sound of disgusting gasps for air. The strain around the eyes are visceral, the skin pulling tight against her skull as she inflicts whatever violent act upon the victim. The eyes widen, showing a glint of joy. We see it, a man bludgeoned and covered in blood being strangled by the stringy arms and fingers of the woman, what little muscle that exists flexed to maximum capacity. A man tries to reach for the item responsible for his damages, a frozen tomahawk steak. His desperate fingers scrape the edge, the melted layer of ice causing it to slip from his grasp. The woman quickly snatches it from him, eradicating his last ditch of hope, and in pure mayhem finishes the job, smashing the front of his skull open like the soft spot of a baby's head being cracked open. Smashing the front of his skull like the soft spot of a baby's head being cracked open. She chucks the slab and lets out an exhilarating scream that degrades into odd poutiness. This is Anastasia. She walks into the bathroom. We follow closely, in the background seeing other vignettes of death she's responsible for. Anna rinses off in the sink, almost like a bird taking a bath. Unbothered and even a bit chippy in mood. We can hear her humming a little tune even. The only thing left unwashed is the blood on her feet, leaving cute little red footprints as she goes into the bedroom. There's another victim, a woman on the bed, throat slit and bed soaked in blood. We cut to her eyes and see there's still some life left in them, holding on by a thread, or maybe a vein, more appropriately put. She hears Anna walk in and commits to her role. Plays dead. Anastasia grabs a switchblade, a sliver of blood still left on its edge, and carves a crude stick figure on the wall. From outside, she hears people arriving, staff and patients. Exterior cabins, same. The small group of people start piling out of an SUV. A staff member notices smoke coming from inside cabin F. Staff member, everyone get back in the car. John, get them out of here. The staff member runs to danger and opens the door. They stop dead in their tracks. We watch from the sky as the cabin burns. Fade to Switchblade title. So that's that one. Yeah. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully this is eye-opening. Maybe hopefully some of you can say, wow, this guy sucks at writing. If he can do it, I can do it. Or maybe some of you really like my writing and want to see the short films and the feature film that I did. There are obviously going to be links in the bio. But I thought it would be a good idea to show some of my stuff so that at least there's some semblance of actual work being done on my end, that I'm not just some guy that just sits in front of this camera and gives unsolicited screenwriting advice or whatever. I actually do screenwriting. I have had some very, very mild success at it, and I have some general experience working within the film business as a freelancer, shopping scripts, producers, meeting with agents and managers, et cetera, et cetera. So there's hopefully something useful for everybody that can watch these videos. All right, well, see ya.